Welcome back to Two Psych Patients Out and About. Today we got your host, Exhibit 2. How are you on Exhibit 1?
Feeling good. It's good to be back. It's your boy Exhibit 1.
So today we're going to be talking about ghost stories. And I'm going to be talking about my own personal ghost stories right now. So let's start off. Do you remember when I worked the hotel and it was haunted?
Yes, I don't know about haunted though.
No?
Tell me more about that.
I remember going in there, and my first night that I was in there, I was sitting behind the desk and I hear like this whisper and it goes, right? And it just whispered. So at first I thought maybe it's just like a dying walkie-talkie in the back office, right? So I looked at my coworker. I go, "Did you hear that?" And she goes, "Yeah, I did." She goes, "How about you put it in the ghost log?" Right? I'm like, "We have a ghost log here." So it's just like a Word document. So I'm looking through it, right? And one of the things that come up is about there that the ghosts were friendly, like Casper the ghost. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah,
What did you think about it?
the movie.
Yeah, the Casper the ghost.
That movie is so old, bro. I don't think I remember, but
It's like about the boy that like turned into the ghost, and
that's all I remember.
that is same. The movie is pretty old. I think if we told anyone nowadays, they would be like, "What movie are you talking about?" You know.
Right.
Just reading in the ghost story prompts that there was friendly ghosts, like Casper the ghost, and the fact was that one night as I was walking down the hallway, and right as I got into the hallway, like I didn't see any flickering lights before I got into the hallway, but right as I got into the hallway, the light right beside me, like right beside me, right? It was like one of those little desk lamps. Like if you ever seen Stranger Things with the lights flickering because the Demigorgon,
Yeah.
it was flickering like that. So I look at it and I go, "Mr. Ghostman," I go, "Can you stop?" I go, "Because it's freaking me out." And I don't know why I did that. I just took the in the back of my mind, I knew that it said that they were friendly. The light just stopped. It went back to normal.
Do you find a way to the upside down?
I did not find a way to the upside down, luckily. Um, I ran back to the desk pretty fast. I mean, fast for me, like the widest receiver, you know. I was the widest receiver because I'm fat, running back to the desk. I mean, if there was a guest in the way, I would have probably just, ooh, punched him right out of the way. But no, it was like 1 in the morning, 1 or 3 in the morning. I just looked at my clock and I'm like, I know something scary is about to happen to me now. So I get back and I'm still working night shift because I'm training. And I was training there for like a month because their system is so out of date. But she just goes, "Put it in the ghost log." Did this actually happen? I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "That actually happened." But that was my only 2, stories from that. But if you had to rate that on a paranormal scale factor and a scary factor, what would you rate that on? Like, imagine you're going down pump and you see this light flickering, you just like that light right there, you go, "Stop," and it stops.
I'm gonna say a 0 because I am agnostic.
I'd put it at probably for scary factor, probably like a 7.5 or paranormal strength. I would put it at a solid 7, if not low 8. And I worked at a haunted subway, and it was late one night. I was working by myself. It was like the subway wasn't connected to a Walmart or like a gas station. It was just its own store, and it had like this like a game store right next to it, right? So I was ready closing up the store, cleaning the bathrooms. I locked the door so no one would come in and just be behind the counter. And finally, when I went out of the bathroom, I saw someone at the front door just knocking. So I let him in, washed my hands behind the counter, made a sandwich for him. And as I'm making him this sandwich, I hear the back door refrigerator to like where we keep all the meats and everything just go slam, slam shuts. So I'm like, "Oh, I'm like, is one of your friends?" I'm like, "Are they in here?" I'm like, "Did you see someone come in here?" He goes, "No." He goes, "I've been waiting about like 10 minutes." And I'm like, so I apologized to him about that because I was cleaning the bathroom, of course. But he's like, "No, I didn't see anyone come in here." And I'm like, "Well, please tell me that you're staying to eat that sandwich where I closed the shop, right?" And he's like, "Actually, I'll take that to go." And I'm like, I don't blame him. I'm like, I'd be taking that to go too. And that subway was kind of run down. But, I thought that was weird. So he left. I locked the doors again, went back there. There was no one. And this subway has been talked about by the other coworkers that worked at that location that it's haunted, right?
Right.
So the fact that happened to me, I was like, how do I rewind the camera? Can I see what happened? So I call my manager. I go, hey, I'm like, what's the password to the computer so I can rewind like the security tape, see if anyone like came in and left. I'm like, if someone broke in, because I don't know what just happened. I'm like, it sounds like the bag fired or just slammed shut or like the bag freed shut.
You see the camera?
I didn't get to see it. She goes, why do you want to see it? She's like, you're responsible for like what goes on there. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but I'm like, I just have a feeling that it's a ghost. And she goes, ghosts aren't real. She goes, have a good night. And she hangs up on me. Yeah. She goes, have a good night. I mean, she could have just said ghosts aren't real. Goodbye. But she said, have a good night. And I was just like, okay, right? It's like, all right. I'm like, ghosts aren't real, right? Okay. So we call my mom and it's like, it's close to like 11 because I'm getting ready to close this subway. It was back during the summer. And so my mom, she picks up and she goes, exhibit 2. She goes, what do you want from me? And I was just like, I'm sorry, but I'm like, I'm really scared right now. I think there's a ghost in here. Right. And I'm putting away the food and everything. I just have the eerie feeling. And finally, I put away all that food. I swear I'm not going back there. Right. And as I'm ready to count out the bank and everything, and I get this knock at the door, I got, right. And I'm like, oh, who's that? I'm like, sorry, we're closed. Right. It's like, no. And I can hear him shouting through the door. I hear him go, it's a game shop owner right across the rear across the street. He goes, can I come in real fast? I'm like, sure, what's up? So I don't know if you met me. He's like, but like, I know the owner pretty well, and I just wanted to tell you that people have been using fake $100 bills at my store, right? And I'm like, oh, I'm like, that sucks. I'm like, I don't think I've gotten in here. I look at him and I go, hey, just real fast before like, because he's like, all right, I'm gonna head out. Right? He's like, I just want to let you know that, so you get going. And I'm like, right before you go, I'm like, can I ask you something? I'm like, these two buildings are connected. Like, the only difference is that there's a wall between them, right? And I go, has anything ever spooky happened? He looks at me, goes, all the time, man. He goes, at least every day, the dice that he keeps on the desk for D&D go flying off and he'll find them on the floor. I go, yeah, that's kind of scary. I'm like, are you sure they just didn't fall off? Like you go by, you hit something and it falls off. He goes, no, he goes, I set up a camera one night and he goes, that refrigerator, that Coca-Cola refrigerator? Because I've been in there a few times. I wanted to see a store after I get out of work because that Coca-Cola refrigerator. He goes, yeah, he goes, one time this person walked in front of it and I saw the shadow went black in front of the light and I could see the outline of their body in front of it. And he said it walked past. And I was like, ain't no way. I'm just like, I am so out of here. And I finished counting the cash and I just opened the back fire door because that was the way to get out by locking the building because I didn't have physical keys I kept on me. Only the managers did. And I walked into my car because I didn't want to fall in the back and just be down in the dark, right? Because it's an employee parking lot in the backwoods. And so as I walked to my car, I heard this big branch just snap. I jumped in my car, locked the door, took like this deep breath, and I was just like, that was scary. I'm just like, that could have been an animal.
Could have been Bigfoot.
Could have been. What would you rate that story on paranormal activity and then also the scary factor for that subway?
You get the camera and I saw it open by itself, bro. That would be a 5.
Dude, my manager, she was upset because I think the problem was she knew she had to work there and she couldn't deal with the fact that it was haunted. I think that's honestly what it was. What do you think? Like on a scary factor?
If what you're saying is true, it'd be a 5.
And then paranormal strength. Because you think the ghost had to open this door. Be a solid 8.5. That's what I would rate it. What would you rate it?
It would be a 10, bro.
A 10? Okay, yeah, that's probably true because those doors are heavy. They're metal doors. Both fire exit and refrigerator right there, metal doors. I say for scary factor for me, I would give that a solid 10 because it happened to me.
Yeah. What we should do is we should go to a cemetery.
Actually, I'll tell my story about that real fast. So it was back in high school. It was on Halloween night, and I decided to be like, you know, ghosts aren't real because to that point, I had never experienced a ghost. So I went to the graveyard in town and I went up and I go, you ghosts aren't real. And it was at midnight, bro, on Halloween. I go, you ghosts ain't real. I think you guys aren't going to do shit to me. Right. And I was really asking for it. So I'm taking this video and my flashlight starts flickering like hella fast. That doesn't mean anything. My battery is probably just dead. I'm like, where are you, ghost? Right? I start going a little because I'm just on the fence of the graveyard by the road. Right? I'm not actually like getting into the graveyard or anything. So what happened was something ran past my foot, like a cat or something. Something I couldn't see. I looked down, it was already gone. Something just whoosh past my feet. I screamed, ran back to my car, and I was reviewing the footage. I'm like, like I don't know what that is. I'm like, I'm getting out of here, right? So I drive home, and guess what happened?
You saw a ghost.
N- Not only did that ghost follow me, it let me know that it followed me because my lamp started flickering its light. Started flickering at 100 miles an hour as I was watching the footage. And I go, well, that's probably not good, right? So I looked and I go, I'm sorry, Mr. Harris. I'm like, I believe in you guys now. I'm too scared. I'm like, if you can forgive me, I go, I won't intrude on your grave ever again. I respect you, right? So I delete the video from my phone, right?
Right.
And I go, I'm sorry. I'm just like, and the light stopped flickering. Right? As soon as I step and I'm like, maybe he went back to the other side. I'm like, he definitely left.
Probably went to the upside down. Right?
Probably went to the upside down. And paranormal and scary wise, what are we rating that?
I will give it a 2 on the flashing flashlight, and I'll give it a 2 on the paranormal strap.
Okay. All right. That's fair. But I think I would give it definitely paranormal. I give it like a 7 because it followed me home with the flickering in my bedroom. And then I would give it probably a scariness. Dude, that was like a solid 9.5 for me, that scariness, because that actually happened to me, you know? But now it's time for you to share any of your own stories on ghosts. If you had them, have you thought of anything?
No, not yet.
So you don't believe in ghosts or anything, right?
Yeah.
And why is that?
Because I haven't seen one in my life.
All right, but do you think that would change if you saw a ghost?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think that's fair. I think that that's the same thing for me too, because of like
You just said all that shit, and then like, no, you said you're the same shit.
no, I don't think that I would believe in a ghost if I never saw one or anything happened to me. I think that's the whole reason why I went out to this graveyard on Halloween night. They go and be like, "There's no ghosts here. You ain't real," and then they were real. So I think if you had your ghost moments or something like that, that'd be pretty cool. You know, having another ghost moment. I don't know if I have any more stories about ghosts, but
You just told people you're when my grandmother you saw something like moving.
oh yeah, that did happen. So that night I went back to your house just to sleep over with you because I felt bad for you and I wanted to make sure that you were doing fine. And as I was going up the hall, I remember we just got done eating downstairs and we went up this, for example, for the audience to understand, he has this long hall that loops around that goes to the right and then the right and then a staircase up to the attic. And we're walking down this hall and I hear this like breathing behind me. And it was just like, you know, like a right? And I go, bro, I go like, exhibit one. I'm like, where are you? And we're already halfway up the stairs, the other stairs. And I'm still walking on the other hall, hear this like whisper behind me, right? And then I hear the door open up and slam shut. It was like the one right behind me. Like I went upstairs, I'm like, bro, I'm like, someone was just walking right behind me. And you're like, no way. I'm like, yeah. I go, I looked when I turned around the corner so I could run upstairs. I just didn't want to turn around and have nowhere to go. Store. And your grandma just passed away, so I was like, what the you were hallucinating though. Yeah, I mean, I would say that's probably fair, but that's gonna do the segment for the ghost story. But now we're gonna move into the Reddit stories. So we're gonna get into it. Yeah, I don't know where it happened, but it was somewhere around on this earth, you know, somewhere on somewhere on this earth. Yeah. So two Walmart employees, right, were working in the back room one day. Yeah. And his coworker had this large pile of TVs on this pallet. And if you don't know what a pallet is, basically it's like a wooden plank that you can store packages on. It was stored to the floor, huge pile of like probably like 10 feet up with just TVs. And the TV swayed, right? Like it was about to fall off. And then it swayed back. It got pushed back and normalized. So you're telling me if something went all the way to the right, like it's about to fall over, like a big pile, and then it just swings back? That's not normal. Like what do you think it could have been?
And then someone pushing it back up forward.
Yeah, like from behind it.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, someone could have been behind it, accidentally bumped into it, and then held it. But I don't think that's what it is. And then his other coworker looked at it and was like, "What the fuck?" Because like, okay, you got stacks of TVs, and unless they have cables around them, which I guess that I don't know, they didn't mention that, but if they did have cables around them, then they could possibly pull them back altogether. But if you saw something like, I don't know, like that wooden beam over there just start to fall over and then went right back up, what would you like for their experience? Like, what would you say that would be on the scariness level?
It could have been just a pallet, uneven pallet.
Sure, that's fair. That's fair. They could have just been the uneven palette. What do you give that for paranormal?
I'll give it a 0.
I give it like a 3. For scariness, I give it like a 1.
Yo, this hold up. Really cool.
Right?
And she got hungry at the middle of the night. She came down to view the sandwich. Then one of the camera opened up.
Right.
The sheet was open before, but they just sun shut. She was like, she screamed. So she didn't, she ran back to her room.
So sure, she was making her sandwich. She didn't notice that this like cabinet was probably open, and then it just slammed shut. Yeah, by itself. Do you think it was magnets or anything like that?
It's a old house, you know what I'm saying?
It's an old house, so it's definitely haunted. Yeah. Damn, I would be pretty scared of that too. So, what would you rate that on a scary level? You, if that happened to me, nah, that shit like a solid 10, bro. Like that shit's scary.
Yeah, bro. And you know, the house was very old, you know, and when you're in a boat house and you hear the creaking noises on the
Yeah, no, that it feels like someone's about to grab your back, bro.
yeah, where's the demon coming to get you?
Yeah. Did you check email 5? Oh, and what would you would rate that scary, right?
You, that's all.
I think that's a solid 10, bro. And I think paranormal, see, it's tough, but I think it rates a solid 8, bro. A 7.5, 8, right around there. I'm going with 7.5.
That's good, bro.
Yeah, I mean that's scary. All right, so our next ghost story is about a little girl, and she's probably like 6, 7, 8 at the time. And she noticed as one day as she just went upstairs to go into her room, a pen flies out of the corner of her room. She claims that she has no pens in her room at the time, and she doesn't know where it came from. That's normal. You know, you find a pen. But the unnormal part of it is it flying across the room. And then you just walk into your room, you see a pen fly across the room. There's no one else in her room with her. No other pets, no nothing that could have made it move. No windows were open, so no one could have thrown it in, you know? So So she says, she goes to her mom and she says, Mom, she's like, I'm freaking out. I just saw a pen fly across her. Mom goes, honey, I believe in ghosts, right? Is that crazy?
That's crazy. That mom's crazy.
Yeah, her mom might be a little insane, but believing in ghosts is all right. So a couple months go by, right? She's playing with her rocking horse, right? She just got off with it. She looks, she sees someone that's the same age as her, the same height. She sees a reflection of herself, and it looks like a ghost. And then it starts rocking the horse. It pushes the horse and starts rocking it. So she screams, right? She freaks out. Her mom comes running in. At that point, the ghost disappears when her mom opened the door. She goes, Mom, there's a little girl. She looks just like me. She was just rocking the horse, the rocking horse. She goes, and it disappeared. And her mom goes, I think we need to have a conversation. And this is the part where we find out why the mother believes in ghosts. Because she had a twin, but that twin died at birth. So, they believed that it was a little girl coming back. So tell me, on paranormal scale and scary factor, where does that lie? Then now you have a twin in your life that's, you gotta give it a little bit of a cool rating factor, because that ghost is not out to get you, because that ghost right there is someone that God gave you. I believe that God was supposed to put in your life, and just trying to find peace in its life. But now you have a ghost that's gonna probably serve and protect you. It's like the Netflix show, The Dead Boy Detectives, where they're talking to the psychic, and she's talking to the ghost, and they gotta solve the mysteries. Great show, by the way. If you haven't watched The Dead Boy Detectives, go watch it. Please go watch it. But what would you rate that? I say if the ghost turns out to be friendly, and it's just like the crying ghost, like in Harry Potter, where she's in the, you know what I'm talking about, in the bathroom. Like, sure, she rages sometimes. But if she turns out to be friendly, it's like, hey, now you got something into the spiritual world. It's like you have a ghost that's always going to be there, and maybe they can figure out a way to communicate. It's a little creepy, a little scary, a little paranormal. On scary level, I say that is a solid 10. On paranormal, I say it is a solid 10. And on coolness level, I say it's a solid 9 for coolness.
The scary it will be a 10, because if that happened to be a line flow away from me.
Yeah, but now that pen was probably because of your brother. And like if you had like a twin brother, that became a ghost. But in her case, it was her sister. But no, so scariness, you would say it's still a 10. Paranormal,
A 0, because the evidence is based on a little girl.
then again, you don't believe in ghosts.
Because I'm agnostic.
But you would believe in a ghost if you saw a ghost. Yeah. So we might have to go ghost hunting sometime.
Yeah, we should.
But okay, so basically, this guy Justin goes over to sleep, and Justin is a grown ass man, but he goes over to his friend's house, right? First to fall asleep gets punished. That's how it is. Yeah. He's the last one to fall asleep. He's trying to fall asleep. Out of the corner of his eye, he sees this black shadow, and it's moving around.
Yeah.
He's just feeling uneasy. He doesn't want to scream or wake up his friends. He tries just going to sleep and hopes that it goes away. He wakes up in the fucking morning, and guess what it was? Oh, it was a cat. A black cat. Scary level wise, I think it's a solid. Not knowing what it was, what would you rate it scary wise?
0.
0? I say it's a straight up. I think if I saw a shadow moving around, a small shadow, I might give it a 5 or 6, and I'd be confused. So like a 5.5. Paranormal, 0. Now that we know that it is a 0 for me too. But before, do you think there's anything to it? No. Yeah. Funniness, that's fucking funny, bro. Okay, so that wraps up our podcast. You got Exhibit 2, your host, and you got Exhibit 1. Exhibit 1, would you like to add anything else to that?
No.
Well, okay. If you see anything spooky, Exhibit 1, let me know.
Call Ghostbusters.
Call Ghostbusters.